Paul Dioen here for Law School Success, frequently asked questions and questions you should ask. We're making this series of videos for a simple purpose to give you a solid foundation of what you need to do in law school to become successful. We will save you time, money, and effort, and we always promise to be completely truthful with you in everything that we convey to you and the information and secrets that we talk about. Law school can be difficult, law school can be hard, or law school can be very easy. Don't make it hard on yourself. You're in the right place to become a law school success. Let's get started. Questions you should ask. Number 8, what are the most common mistakes law students make? We're going to go over most students think they will learn the law or skills needed by only briefing cases in the case book. Most students think there are correct answers. Students come to class or brief cases without learning the law first. They believe that learning the law presents a new dynamic. You cannot understand the theory of law without learning the law first, and they do not understand that law is a business. Most students think they will learn the law or the skills needed by only briefing the cases in the case book. This is the influence mistake. Most students just listen to the wrong horse, or bet on the wrong horse, rather. They listen to the wrong people. They abandon all their common sense. They abandon all the knowledge that got them to this point in their life and all the things and methodologies of what they've done in their life to get to where they are. They listen to these unfounded learning principles, the Socratic method, and they believe that everything that goes on in class will dictate everything that happens, and it's absolutely false. A disturbing and constantly disgusting trend is most students think there are correct answers. They brief cases, well, that case brief isn't good. It doesn't have the right answer. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as correct answers. When you really understand the law and you understand everything about it, you will know there are always two sides to every argument. There's sometimes three and four sides. You know there's weaknesses in cases, there's weaknesses in facts. The only thing that you know after you get true knowledge of the law is that there are only good legal arguments. There are no correct right answers. Okay? There's just really good legal arguments and there's really sucky legal arguments. And if you have really good legal arguments, you stand a better chance of winning than if you have the sucky legal argument. Okay? It's just that simple. Students come to class or brief cases without learning the law first. They take too many notes. You're not going to discover the law from this epiphany of briefing cases that only give you a small snapshot of the law that they want you to see. Okay, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, the human mind doesn't work like that. All right, it's never worked like that. What happens is before you brief the case, you should start learning the law first. If the case is about consideration, go learn the law of consideration and then brief the case. Now, you don't need to be an expert on consideration to brief a case, but you need to have an understanding of what it's about and the full penumbra of things in consideration that exist before you can effectively brief a case. And when you do this, it's excitingly stupid how easy it is to see what's going on in the case because the stuff just pops out at you. Oh, yeah, I read about that before over here, possibly in Dean's Law Dictionary. I went in and read everything about consideration, and now I know that this case fits right over here. Okay, about pre-existing duty. All right, that's what I need to learn from this case. And there you go. It's twice as easy to learn the law that way, where you start learning the law first, then you brief cases. And what's even more disturbing is you waste so much time taking notes when you don't know what the case is about or the law is about. When you know what the case and the law are about, it's real easy to bucket fill that case into this specific area of law. They believe that learning the law presents a new dynamic. This is the influence thing. They fall for the Socratic method. They fall for this thinking like a lawyer. And again, we in prior lectures we talked about, well, just ask the intellectual giants that use that term, and they all use it. They just throw it out there and they say, what is thinking like a lawyer? Can you define it for me? Now, if you can't define something, if you can't define it in detail and cogently right away when the person asks, like if you ask a prof that, say, hey, you use that term thinking like a lawyer, what does that mean? And if they give you a flippant answer or they just blow you off, all right, you know that person's a fraud. Okay? They never really thought about what thinking like a lawyer was. They never really defined it, and it's not part of their lesson plan. Okay? Had they done those things, they'd very quickly give you the kind of definition we gave you on what thinking like a lawyer is about, and then they'd also realize very quickly that their teaching methods are crappy. So there you go. You cannot understand a theory of any law without first learning the law. We agree with this absolutely 100%. Students think they can just learn the theories, and then once they learn the theories, everything else will fall into place. Doesn't work like that. Synthesis of the law, true ability to think of the law in its absolute terms, the way the judges used to think of the common law and how they used to change the common law, that requires mastery of the law itself before you can synthesize anything. Same thing with analogy, okay? Analogy is when you take law from another area and you apply it over here. Like something happens in real property, let's apply it over here to contract law, or something happens in contract law, we should apply it to real property law. You can't do any of that stuff. You can't create those new understandings and new theories without knowing the law absolutely dead cold in the first instance. Now, the disturbing trend that we talked about in other lectures is real simple. They don't even teach the law anymore in most law schools. They don't even teach the basics. The vast majority of law students that graduate from law school with a Juris Doctor, yeah, that's a joke, okay? They got no doctorate degree in anything, okay? The vast majority of students that graduate with a Juris Doctor have no capability at all to do synthesis or analogy on the law. They just don't have it. It's not there. They don't have the fundamental and hard core basic understandings, and we can prove it to anybody. We'll go into any school in any part of this country and give a simple exam to exit the school. The last exam the students take, we'll just walk into class and just write a little simple thing on the on the board. Whatever law that you claim to know the best, and we'll write down the topics, torts, contracts, crimes, whatever. Just take a blank piece of paper and tell me everything you know about that law from a blank piece of paper. I guarantee you there won't be a student in the class, except maybe 1 out of 100, or our students that follow our methodologies, where they can't write anything longer than 45 minutes, and most of what they write is crap. Now, they just got a Juris Doctor degree, and yet they don't know anything. Oh, geez, that gives me a lot of confidence, okay? They get out of law school, they haven't got the slightest clue as to what's going on, and they don't know enough law to be able to do synthesis and analogy. Don't you dare be one of those people. Don't you dare be one of those people. We give you this lecture for free. We're telling you what you have to do to get true knowledge. You better go out and get your true knowledge, because if you do, you'll understand that law is a business, and you'll know that 50% of all graduates do not practice law after 5 years. But you won't have that problem. And you won't have that problem because you'll understand the true basis and knowledge of law. If you do that, it's like taking candy from a baby in the modern courtroom. Most of the lawyers come in there, they don't have the slightest clue what all the law is. They didn't ask all the questions, and consequently, who has the better legal argument? The person that's looked at everything. Who has the better chance of winning something? The person that's looked at everything versus the person that's only looked at half of everything. Don't be one of those people. You can go through law school, you can gain true knowledge of the material, but don't think that you're going there just to learn theories, or it's an open book test. You don't have to memorize anything. All these are myths. Don't fall for the myths. So again, what are the most common mistakes law students make? Most students think they will learn the law skills needed only by briefing the cases in the case books. Most students think they're correct answers. Most students come to class or brief cases without learning the law first. Most students believe that learning the law presents some kind of new dynamic. Okay. Most students they cannot understand the theory of law without first learning the law itself, dead cold. Okay. They don't understand that. And they do not understand that law is a business. Thanks for listening to the lecture. Hope we conveyed some valuable information to you to save you time, money, and effort. Go to the site at www.bsmsphd.com. You can get all the rest of the lectures for free by just subscribing, and we even have some free offers for you for if you're a 1L law student. Paul D. Owen, Law School Success. You've come to the right place.